She thought she was going to a normal sleepover, but she was brutally attacked by 3 girls who were supposed to be her friends. This is the story of Kirra Hart. I do want to give a trigger warning that this video does talk about the abuse of a minor. She does survive, so this is a survival tale, and it's amazing how she survives this. I'll get to that. But if you don't think you should be listening to something like that, please don't. Your mental health matters. Please take care of yourself. And a quick disclaimer that I'm just a girl, I'm not a lawyer, and all of this information is publicly available. If the lighting keeps changing, the sun keeps going behind clouds. I have no control over that. Kirra Hart was 14 years old from Queensland, Australia, and on the night of March 16th, 2023, she thinks she's going to a normal sleepover with 3 of her friends. 14-year-old Chloe Denman, 15-year-old Renisha Grunch, and another girl named Shania Grunch. I believe the 2 Grunch girls were sisters. The sleepover took place at the Grunch household, but I couldn't find anything that solidified whether they were sisters or cousins or related, but I would assume with the same last name that they were related somehow. So Kirra gets to the sleepover. I mean, she's excited for it. Everyone is excited for a sleepover when they're 13, 14, 15. Sleepovers are supposed to be about watching movies, eating popcorn, talking about crushes. And Kirra thought that that's what was going to happen that night. But for her, it turned into a night of pure hell. Because the people she trusted, the ones she thought were her friends, actually lured her into a trap. Let me give you some background on these girls because it's important to know going forward. Kirra, before the incident, was described as a regular teenager. She was quiet, trusting, very sweet, and overall likable. And most importantly, she did not have a reputation for being a troublemaker. Renisha was identified in many reports as the ringleader of the assault. She was frequently described as more aggressive and central to organizing this entire attack. Chloe is described as someone with a visible online presence. Before the incident, there were suggestions reporting that there had been tension, perhaps some jealousy or bullying between Kirra and Chloe. And lastly is Shania, who is less featured in the reports. She's mentioned as Kira's classmate, who was possibly involved in the attack, but we'll find out later that this entire attack was recorded and Shania cannot be seen in the recordings, as well as Chloe, Kirra, and Renisha are. So immediately once Kirra got to the sleepover, she was taken off guard. She was ambushed by the girls. She was beaten, punched, kicked, dragged around by her hair, and even cut with sharp weapons by Chloe, Renisha, and possibly Shania. They literally threw glass bottles at her. Like, I'm sorry, when I was 14, I was watching movies and talking about my crushes at sleepovers. Who brings a glass bottle to a sleepover and then throws it at their friend? Kirra was tied up, and for 4 whole hours, this 14-year-old girl, please keep in mind that these are all teenagers, 15 and under. So this 14-year-old girl was tortured for 4 hours by other teenagers. And again, I mentioned it briefly, but the part that makes my stomach turn about this case is that they recorded the entire attack. The girls doing this to her, her so-called friends, tied her up, set up a tripod, pushed record on a phone, and recorded the entire thing. I have no words. You might be asking why, because I know I am. Why would you be torturing someone you called a friend? How do you sit there and laugh while someone who is being tortured is begging you to stop? It is so beyond me. And of course, you guessed it, the video got leaked. It was put online and it went viral. People couldn't believe what they were watching. This wasn't just bullying, this was full-on sadistic torture done by teenagers. Teenagers. I don't know how many times I have to say that for it to like click, but like if you know a teenager, just think about it. Like a teenager. 14-year-old and 15-year-old girls. When I was 14 and 15, I was like painting my own toenails and fucking watching Disney Channel. I don't know. Maybe not at that age, but you get my point. One report says that after the attack, her friends walked Kirra back home and told her mom that she had been, quote, jumped. Her mother opened the door and seeing her daughter visibly bruised, beaten, bleeding, she was in complete and utter shock and immediately took Kirra from the girls and took Kirra right to the hospital. She was examined immediately and was found to have multiple injuries. She was then rushed into emergency surgery in an effort to save her. Doctors found a broken nose, a broken jaw, bruises, and cuts all over her body. Those were her physical injuries, but honestly, the emotional toll that took on her, I can't even begin to put into words. I cannot even fathom that, and there's no way I can be able to describe that. The damage of something like that to a 14-year-old. I seriously don't even have the words. Thankfully, Kirra came out of surgery and survived the attack, which is amazing. That is great, and Kirra is so strong for that. But the amount of stories that I'm seeing like this surface of similar situations where a friend gets tricked into hanging out with other friends and then ends up getting unalived by them, it should not be an escalating number. If anything, it should be decreasing in the amount that it's happening. But it's getting more and more frequent, and I am getting more and more afraid of teenagers. Seriously, what is going on in the world? Kids are turning on each other, and bullying goes so far that it crosses into criminal territory. And yet, when it comes to punishment, the system barely treats it as severe as it actually is. Because yes, the girls were each charged with assault, but I couldn't find if they served any juvie time, jail time. Again, this case happened in Australia, so their judicial system is different than ours. But I'm hoping that they spent some time behind bars, because what the fuck? They were minors at the time, which made people think that they were just going to be given a slap on the wrist and that they were going to be able to walk free. Maybe they had some probation, maybe they had some community service. 4 hours of torture and they might have just walked free with minimal consequences. That doesn't sit right with me. When the internet saw the video of the attack, people were outraged. Thank God that did not come up on my FYP, because I definitely would have cried. People were so outraged that they started petitions demanding harsher punishments. They even opened up a GoFundMe for Kirra to help her pay with hospital bills and things like that. Strangers from all over the world rallied with this girl, because even if the justice system didn't end up protecting her, people wanted her to know that they saw her, they heard her, and they want to help support her. Kirra was described as sweet, shy, and just a normal teenager who ended up trusting the wrong people. She's a victim, and her scars aren't just physical, they're emotional too. It's betrayal, it's trauma, and it is something she's gonna have to carry for the rest of her life. And for those 3 girls, I'm just gonna say it, we do not like those girls. We do not like mean girls. Don't be a mean girl. It's 2025. Don't be a mean girl. Can the world just collectively agree to be a better place and stop bullying people and stop unaliving people and stop torturing people? Thank you very much. Imagine being so cruel and so hateful that you think doing something like this is okay. At 14 and 15 years old, you've already decided that you're capable of torturing someone and then laughing about it. That's not just teen drama, that's incredibly narcissistic and very dangerous. But at the end of the day, this case is not about them, it's about Kirra. She survived, she's strong, and she deserves to know that the world has her back, that people are demanding justice for her, and that she's not defined by what happened to her. Kirra Hart deserves so much better. That is all I have on this case, but I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Are you as mad as I am about it? Do you think the girls will actually ever face real consequences for what they did, or will they walk away with a slap on the wrist? I post true crime videos, so if you like that type of content, follow so you don't miss my next video, and please stay safe out there because you never know what's right around the corner. Be careful at the next sleepover you go to. Really make sure that they're your friends, because sometimes bad shit happens.